beautiful church. We are in a passage today in 1 Peter that is truly complicated and is very hard to gather truth about. And so let me read it to you, and we'll try to work on it. The first part we get in 3:18. Christ suffered once for sin, the righteous for the unrighteous, that he might bring us to God, being put to death in the flesh, but made alive in the spirit. Okay, we understand that, at least generally. Now, in verse 19, in which the Spirit in which he went and proclaimed to spirits in prison, because they formerly did not obey, when God's patience waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was being prepared, in which a few, that is 8 persons, were brought safely through the water. Okay, that's complicated. Peter's sort of just zipping us back in this spiritual way to see the eternal consequences of rebellion against God that were happening even in the earliest times in the Scripture. There's a lot written about this passage, a lot to understand. It's a unique passage in many ways. There are only a few other passages that sort of corroborate this sort of idea of what Christ's work in the Spirit was. In this sort of time, it appears after his death and before his resurrection, and it's very complicated. We want to be really careful and tread very lightly in understanding this information and applying it. There are, like I said, a lot of views. Tyler sometimes will ask me, is this a hill you're willing to die on? Or he'll say, I'm not willing to die on this hill, or I am, because it's an issue that's really, really important. So we need to choose around unique passages like this to look at them from a perspective that comes at it from a point of humility, and says, hey, we can take what we can from this and trust God with the rest. And in particular, in this, we can definitely see that the actions of Christ have, in his sacrifice for sin, have ramifications that are past, present, and future. There are spiritual things that are happening that we cannot see or even imagine or understand. There is a sense in which the sin of those early people who broke the covenant with God in the first days of creation and up through the time of Noah carried a heavy weight, and the punishment for sin at that time and the redemption of just a few people has some kind of type of understanding for us. And so from a big picture, we see that Christ's work is eternal, that his sacrifice is efficacious, past, present, future, that there is a spiritual world. There are things happening that we can't understand, but that all support what he has done and what he is doing for the people that he loves. And so the only suggestion I have for you with this is just to meditate on the intensity and the beauty of the plan of Christ over time to bring us out of sin and into relationship with him. It didn't happen overnight, and it's a process that's been unfolding in the Scripture, and we can go back and see it all the way back to the beginning. So let's just spend some time thinking about the beauty of the cross and how it plays out in time past and time future. All right. Take care. See you.